Hi, thank you all for joining me here. So I will be speaking a bit about ZotaPay and then how we collect payments today worldwide, but not just worldwide, in the most difficult regions in the world where it's hard to collect and then harder even to settle it out of those regions. So ZotaPay, it's a payment gateway acting like a hub of payments. We are connected to more than 400 different PSPs, banks, acquirers around the world. Also credit card processors, but then with times, with all integrations and merchants' demand, we realize that there is a big demand of markets that usually processors are not going to, as it is hard to collect and same hard to take the funds out of these places. And places where the population is unbanked or doesn't have a bank account or simple credit card, and they are paying but in different payment methods. So all these alternative payment methods is something that we targeted as a really, like we really focused on that, bringing it to ZotaPay, first as integration and the relationship with the local providers. We opened local offices wherever we should have. And in the different regions such as India or Southeast Asia, China, Latin America, which I will show you how we do it, how we collect the funds, which payment methods basically are relevant or available in these regions. But this is all coming from the idea that credit cards are not the main payment methods for Indonesia or for India or for different regions like in Africa. For Southeast Asia, for example, we are supporting different payment methods, such as real-time direct instant wire bank. This is the biggest one, I would say, which is like a simple transfer from a bank account to a bank account. You will be able to see a short video soon how basically this process is working. But then we also offer a QR code, same as in China, that people are going to the convenience store and paying with the QR code. So we also have these kinds of solutions and e-wallets, local e-wallets as well. Now, what we are doing is to connect to the local providers in the local countries, local regions. Sometimes we need to operate as a local company as well and to open ourselves a company in, for example, Malaysia. So we will be able to take the funds out. And sometimes we can find some money service organizations that are licensed to change and convert these funds and then settle it back to Europe. So for Southeast Asia, for example, we can see this next video. The shopper places an order in the website, he sees our bank selection page, then he's choosing his own bank. This was my bank in Malaysia. To pay, the shopper simply enter his bank details and verify the payment from his bank account. So it's like we are connected to all the relevant local banks in Malaysia. The end user can first choose his own bank, then he's being redirected to his own bank page, and in the next click, after entering the details and basically leaving behind all the risk and all the fraud that we used to have with credit cards, is just verifying the order from the next screen, clicking approved, and the transaction is approved. Our merchants will see it in their back office, which is our gateway, in 15 minutes time. This is for Southeast Asia. Also, beside the QR, beside the e-wallets and the bank transfer, we also support the payment in the convenience store, which is also something that is relatively new because we recently started to onboard some hotels and e-commerce beside the FX. So also this in Southeast Asia. In India, this is a market that we really want to start penetrating soon, and this is what we are doing. We already established some of local partnerships there with local providers that can provide us local solutions. India is today going for a cash-free or cashless country, I would say. There are millions of people, one of the biggest markets, and no one is going there because of the regulations or how to take the funds out or how to settle in. So basically what we did here is to connect to all the big names, the big gateways, in order to first facilitate the transfer, Later on, we will have a local company in India that will be able to take the funds in India and later settle it overseas. In India, you see today credit cards and debit cards, which are still one of the biggest payment methods that are available and in use. But then you see all kinds of different methods, and you see a long list here of UPI, for example, which is just the government program that is allowing to take payments for mobile phones. Or cash, which is still working for India, and all kinds of e-wallet that you usually will top them up with a credit card, yes, but still you are leaving the credit card behind and you are getting a new interface, and this is basically the idea. This is for India, and you can see some payments flow we have. We have the payment flow with a QR code here, then the UPI, which you can choose the network that you are connected, and all kinds of different wallets. So you see just one provider that we are working with that provides us the entire cycle of payment methods. And this is the idea behind ZotaPay. We are connecting to everyone that we can. We are grabbing all the APIs, we are integrating, and then the next day we are able to offer it to all of our merchants and to negotiate this accordingly. Okay. Next one is Africa. Africa is an interesting market. In 2007, Safaricom, a big network, mobile network company, launched the M-Pesa, which changed the market there. The M-Pesa is basically giving them the ability to charge end users from the mobile, from the courier, actually. So they don't have any bank account, they don't have credit cards, but they do have mobile phones, sometimes not smartphones even. So today, beside the M-Pesa, I think I know more than 100 different mobile methods just in Africa. And it's going locally. So in Nigeria, it will be only for Nigeria, and in Kenya, only for Kenya. So this is how it works there, and we know how to collect these payments, I would say, more than 100 payment methods in Africa that we are connected to. We know how to collect it, and we, of course, know how to settle it out. You see there the ACH, direct debit, which is connected to your bank account. Then you see the mobile money, which is the M-Pesa. Just one example, this is the Kenya Safaricom payment method, which is the biggest today. But among this, you have many others, mobile money, which is, we can see the volumes coming from there and the need from the merchant side. This is the next big thing, and already the big thing in Africa. Also, all kinds of wallets that are starting to be available. We are working with all kinds of providers that's starting to generate their own wallets because they see this need of getting rid of the credit card and just getting a new interface and much faster communication between merchants, bank accounts, or money to the merchant account. Here in Africa, you see one of our providers that basically offer you to pay with card, pay with Visa QR code, or pay with their own wallet, which is barter, in just one screen. The next one, when you are choosing the mobile money, you will choose the courier that you are connected to, and this courier will be the one charging you. Sorry. So this courier will be the one that is charging you for the transaction. So this is how mobile money is working, basically. You will tell us which courier you are working with. This courier will charge you in your bill, in your monthly bill. The next one is the next one is the M-Pesa, which we discussed in Kenya. You just need to enter your phone number, and then it will be charged again from your courier bill. The next one is Visa QR code. Visa also has launched this option recently, and this Africa providers is giving us Visa QR code that you will be able to just scan it and pay with your Visa, which is of course supposed to be connected. The next market I want to discuss is Latin America. In Latin America today, so again, this is a continent that most of the people, and 65% I checked, are unbanked. Unbanked, no credit cards, which means So many people, so many potential in this place, but no one really knows how to collect funds online there, like I'm speaking like a few years ago. So today we are connected in these regions, which is Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Peru, and same as in Southeast Asia and Latin America, and same as Africa, I would say all these difficult regions are acting the same. Every country has its own regulation, own needs, own system that operates, and sometimes you can't even imagine how different they are from each other. So in Latin America, you can see this short video. Here we basically see the bank selection page that also includes the country selection page, which one provider is giving us. The end user will be able to choose the region that is in, and then his bank account or different payment methods, not only bank wires. Same as in Southeast Asia, will be redirected to his bank. He will have this 15 minutes to complete the transfer. He will need to log into his account, and it's all happening online in just, you will see, 40 seconds time, and the transaction is complete and approved. So yes, we are collecting funds in those difficult regions such as Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Uruguay, and we do it in several different ways, but mostly I would say vouchers, which is very common in Brazil, some wallets, and also bank transfers, less credit cards, again. China is the biggest markets of ZotaPay. We are working there for 4 years now. We have many connections, many integrations to local providers. We have a local office in Hong Kong, which is an MSO license and know how to take the funds out of China, convert it, and then send it to our merchants. I would say that we find it very interesting, very hard sometimes, all the risk issues and complaints, but we feel like we know how to handle it, and it's going really well. You will see that basically also in China we have many different providers. China Union Pay, it's the government like card scheme like Visa or MasterCard, which is the most common way. But if you will see numbers, only 7% of people in China are paying in credit cards. 7%, and it's China, and they are so big. So what do they pay? They pay in WeChat, and they pay in Alipay, QQ, all kinds of e-wallets, QR codes. All kinds of solutions that basically, I can say China, they skipped the step of credit cards. Yes, they went straight from cash to e-wallets, to QR codes, and to advanced payment methods. While all the others went from cash to credit cards, and it will be very hard to take them out from credit cards. And I'm speaking about European or US, of course. So in China, we support WePay, Alipay, QQ, China Union Pay, and all kinds of P2P, P2C solutions, which are basically bank transfers, such as the ones you saw in Southeast Asia and in Latin America, which are working great for this industry. I can also show you a short video on China Union Pay transaction, but this is the flow of Alipay. Just scanning the QR, and if you go to China, you just see it. They go with their phone, they buy, and it takes so much less time than it used to take with cash and credit cards and bills and recipes. It's just easy, and they are just there, and they are advanced, I would say, much more than all other markets. The most difficult things here in China will be to take it out, to take the funds out, and this is what we do best, and this is what we have why we have the MSO office in Hong Kong. This is a P2P solution, which is basically a transfer from one bank account to another. So this is already the bank, the user bank in China, and this is the screen from, let's say, our cashier page that is basically explaining him what to do. So it's not automatically, as you saw in Southeast Asia or Latin America, but it is manually done, and also 15 minutes maximum for to complete this transaction. This is the time frame that the end user is getting. And we are getting this status, approved, decline at the same time, same as our merchants. Japan is the last one I will speak about. Their credit cards are pretty, yes, still relevant. 70 or more % from all transactions are going in credit cards, and they have their own JCB, which is their own card scheme, I would say. We support, of course, JCB and all kinds of e-wallets that are local, and it depends. We are working also with e-commerce and travel verticals, so for them, we see that they have different need than the FX, so we are connecting to all kinds of local payment methods there. And we are also looking to 2020, to the Olympic Games that we will be there, and we are trying to also penetrate this, actually. Yeah, the thank you should be bigger, but thank you for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Yes.
Yeah, in Africa, I'm a little bit familiar with that environment. I want to get clarification on something. To my best of knowledge, the most common payment system there is local bank.
Sorry?
The most common payment system there is local bank. Local bank
Local
payments.
bank, yes, local
and
bank.
And the local card. Then
Yes.
how do you manage that system? Because you said that you can have local incorporation or
Yes.
local. Yes.
So in Africa, I don't have any presence. What I do is I'm connected to local providers. You can speak later, and I will explain more. But we are connected to local providers who can accept all you said, M-Pesa, local cards, and even international. So they're doing card processing for us. We are connecting the merchants or directly to them. So the merchant is signing an agreement of processing with this acquirer, and only the gateway agreement will be with us, ZotaPay, and the settlements will go straight to the merchant in this case, if it's card, like you said. Yes.
Who's next?
Okay. My question is, what's your look about cryptocurrency, and is Libra a danger for your business?
So we are not touching any cryptocurrencies at the moment. It's like a management decision, not processing cryptocurrencies, and also not working with crypto merchants. So Libra, it's yes, they are thinking about it, they are speaking about it, but not something that we are doing at the moment. Nothing. Yes.
Yes, hi. I was just wondering, do you do cross-border payments, and how do you support your FX if you're doing that, especially in some of these regions where it's not very liquid?
Yes, that's the challenge, I would say. But we are, like I said, opened our MSO office in Hong Kong, and I can say that most of the processing that we do is there in China, Southeast Asia, and there I have local partners everywhere, and big amounts of partners, because as you know, it's very hard to take the funds out of there, and the pricing is very high as well. But we are connecting only with regulated licensed MSO or any company that can change and convert the funds. And sometimes even the providers can do that themselves. If they are pretty big or regulated in those places, they can convert for me and settle straight to the merchant. Most of the times, not to me as an aggregator. So the answer will be just to be connected to local MSOs, which are locally operating there with their local office, and they are the third party that is doing it for us.
So is the FX conversion, is that on the client or is that on you? How does that
Sometimes it's on us. Like we are collecting the funds for the merchants. Then we are settling it via this third party, which is an MSO, a money service organization, to ourselves. And then we are settling it to our merchants. This is, of course, with our PI license and the MSO license altogether.
Okay, we have time for just one more question.
Okay. Hi. Who's doing the due diligence? So how do you know this person who they say they are on the bank and transferring money? And it could be fraudulent.
Yes. So we have our own compliance team, which is operating in Tel Aviv offices and in Hong Kong offices. Every new partner that we are adding, such as merchant, going over a pre-approval stage, then due diligence. So it's in-house with our legal and compliance teams that collecting all the documents and then getting to a decision if we can or cannot work with them. Many times I brought MSOs that told me that they are MSOs and I got declined from compliance. Yes, of course. So we are paying more for that, I would say. Yes. Yes, we are working with the Helicore, if you know. We are integrating them now, so they will be part of our compliance process and due diligence process. Sure. Thank you all. Thank you very much for coming. Have a great show.